Hey guys, and welcome back to Altcoin Buzz Spotlight with me, Layah, the show where we speak to entrepreneurs, innovators, and thought leaders in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space. Joining me today is Quincy Dagelet, the CEO and founder of Crowny. Crowny is the company that allows you to receive rewards by engaging with offers that you like from brands that you love. So guys, it's going to be pretty interesting, but before we jump in, please don't forget to hit the like button and hit subscribe so you never miss a video. And also let us know in the comments below who you want us to interview next and which topics you want us to cover. Quincy, welcome to Altcoin Buzz. How are you doing?
Hey, Layah, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing really well, thank you. Your project is an interesting one. We don't usually have these kind of projects on Altcoin Buzz, so I'm really excited to delve into it. So for those that don't know, how would you describe Crowny, and how are you guys essentially redefining a billion-dollar advertising industry?
Oh, so let me just give a short breakdown on Crowny. So what we aim to do with Crowny is we aim to connect brands and we aim to connect users and brands to each other by having users engage with their favorite brands, so brands can always reach the right target audience while we protect the user's privacy. We're able to do this because a user actually subscribes to certain channels in our application where he fills in what he likes, what he wants to see, and based on those offers and based on his preferences, he gets reached out to. So it's very simple. It's yet that very straightforward for a user too, because if the user says he wants to see something from brand X, Y, or Z, then he gets to see it. If he doesn't want it, then he won't get it. And on top of that, he can fill in his own advertising frequency, such as like he wants to get a message just once a day, once a week, once an hour. It's just all based on how a user actually wants to do it. To answer your question more into detail, like how are we redefining it? I think we should start with like the problems which are there, because there are three main things happening within the advertising world right now, which one is privacy issues, which we can all relate to. And the second one is a waste of money, which is happening. This complies both to brands as well to users. Like a user normally doesn't get what he really wants to see. And on the other hand, a brand is almost unable to reach the right target audience because there are so many intermediaries taking place, or like ads are just intrusive and annoying, which is basically what a lot of users said from a survey, which was held by Forbes. And I think on top of my head, and we wrote this down in the pitch deck as well, is that 86% or 68%, sorry, are completely fine with receiving an ad as long as it's relevant to them. And personally, I can relate to it. And I don't know how this is for you, but if I'm just willing to see something which I like, I'm not really bothered by it. But in regular, I just get disturbed while I'm just scrolling through my Instagram feed or something else, I definitely hate that part.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I actually don't mind seeing ads when they are specific to what I'm looking for. So for example, right now in my personal life, I'm flat hunting. So when I get advertisements, about different flats in the areas that I'm looking, it's really helpful. But I do get frustrated when I see advertisements which are more like marketing campaigns for certain political things, which frustrate me quite a lot. But this will definitely be interesting. But in terms of the costs for the brands, how are you guys actually lowering that?
So if as an example, on regular basis, like 45 to 50% of the ads just go to waste on a regular basis, while the cost like for digital marketing have been increasing. We're trying to do it a bit differently. I'm not saying we are the cheapest, but we can definitely ensure you that we reach the right audience. And on top of that, our users are actually willing to receive content. So those 2 points are actually really valuable for a brand. If I was a brand and I'm trying to do a campaign, then I would like my audience to actually be engaged with it. But with Crowny, the brand already knows that it's existing. The user wants to see it, because he's basically subscribing to the channel to receive content and offers from that specific niche. I think that's the main difference for how a brand could see it and how he's able to connect with the users at the end of the day there. And on top of that, while a normal or a regular brand would say you pay mostly for a campaign just before it's happening, we build in several mechanisms, such as if you just swipe away the ad, you don't get anything as a reward. If you're just opening it, you're getting something minor. If you're actually going to the store after receiving that app and based on geofencing, which could be like a follow-up campaign, which could happen through the application and through the portal we are providing, then it could actually convert into a lead, and eventually he could show like a QR code, which is there on his phone, which is like the last part of the campaign. So as a brand, you can really measure the thing you're paying after a user actually completed some of the steps. So where they normally had to pay a lot to the brand, we tell them to pay the user, because we want the user to be incentivized for receiving content. Of course, we as Crowny, we are also making money, otherwise there wouldn't be a business model. But for us, it's really important that a user always gets rewarded both in a Crowny token and also the loyalty points. And that's why we first have to transition to Solana, which we'll do in Q3 2021. And the reason being, if we would send out an ad right now, and I think you can imagine with the fees of Ethereum right now, it would be insane. You would gift someone like 20 cents and you would have to pay like $40 in gas fees. So that isn't a sustainable business model to go live right now. So I think by answering that question, it explains a lot to the people who are going to see it, because this is a question we get asked quite a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think what is happening now in this space is just fascinating, seeing people leaving Ethereum, moving to Solana, moving to Binance Smart Chain. I'm just fascinated to see the real competition in this market. But in terms of your users, you have just touched on this, but I do want to delve into it a little bit more. So for somebody like myself, what are the direct benefits that I would gain by using the Crowny app?
So we have two components, right? So on one hand, you can earn just your Crowny tokens by completing several tasks, by receiving ads, and you name it. While on the other side, we provide a free loyalty system to brands. So a brand can create their own loyalty system. And by having these loyalty systems, which are built on Solana, it's free to use for them. It sounds very good to those brands too, because they have something where the user can interact with instead of like their old-fashioned stamp card, as an example. Mm-hmm. So we now provide them with a free loyalty system. You would get from, let's say we have Layah coffee in Israel, and it's one of the best coffee stores which you can find there. And as a consumer, I'm going there, but like with old-fashioned stamps, you don't want to do that. So right now, you just place a QR code there and you download the Crowny app. You will automatically follow Layah Coffee in this example. And by following you, I would have you in my loyalty wallet app. So it's just purely for you and me, and all the users which are basically coming through your store, they can just automatically follow Layah Coffee in this example. And you can reach out to them. And so for a user, there are two benefits. They can either get loyalty points from their favorite brand, so like the Layah Coffee part, or they can just get rewarded for receiving ads based on their preferences. So there are two components, and it's like the whole loyalty part is a big part of the growth strategy, because we're aiming to work with a lot of small, medium-sized enterprises, because they don't have the capability right now to create their own loyalty system. They are either too expensive for them, they're too hard to create. And on the other side, they always have to pay each transaction, while we take care of the whole part because we're building on Solana. We charge them nothing for it, and it's part of our growth strategy to have these brands, because like small, medium-sized enterprises mostly have a lot of followers, like local followers, which they can then convert into the application, which results in us generating more data, more profiles, more people which become interested in the Crowny platform overall. So I think that gives a bit of a breakdown there.
So is that similar to the advertising portal, or is the advertising portal something completely different?
No, it's combined. So if you have like the advertising portal, you can just say you want to create a campaign, and on top of giving away a reward, which is in the Crowny token, you can just give away a reward in your own loyalty program as well. It's just a couple clicks more to create it. And we see it as like the loyalty system, the loyalty program is something you would create first. And let's say after a time you have your coffee store and you're selling blueberry muffins, but in 2 days you have to close, but you have like 50 left of them. What you could do then is you could just send out an app and we come to you like, hey, Layah, wouldn't you want to try like our new advertising mechanism where you can reach out to the users which are already following you within the application? So you could do that, and you could just say like, okay, if you get a coffee, you get a free blueberry muffin with it. But because the person's already not only subscribed to coffee, but also subscribed to your specific coffee store in this case, then you would automatically know it would only just be sent out to the people which are already into or heard about your store anyway, because they signed up through you. So those components are combined in there.
I understand. And are there any other rewards that you want to mention that are available on the platform?
Yeah, like staking rewards. We currently have an APY of 55% if you're staking Crowny on our Sendex. Yeah, there's more coming regarding LP staking and LPing basically, sorry. And also on top of that, we are also looking into the NFT sector, but that's something we kind of want to keep for us as a secret right now. There's more to read about it in the white paper anyway, but that's more for this conversation, I would say.
And you spoke about Solana then, but can we find out, you may have touched on this, but when exactly that bridge is happening? Do you have an exact date?
Yeah, so it's definitely going to happen in Q3 2021. We're aiming to do it like as early as possible, because we can see the momentum really took off with Solana. And I think when we're starting to build on Solana and got in contact with the guys there, with Serum, etc., it was still around like January, and people were picking up Solana right then. But it was like Polkadot season, like Q1 2021. And I think it's now a bit shifting to seeing a lot of the companies trying to do something with the Solana ecosystem. And I think Cosmos as well is something we shouldn't forget about, with like all the fair launches they are doing. So yeah, it's interesting to see where the market goes, because it's all 24/7, as you know as well. It can just move so quickly. It's just insane. So yeah, we might do it earlier, because we at least want to have the application live by the end of this quarter. So that's
yeah, no, absolutely. There's no time to rest. It is a market that's moving and changing 24/7. It's absolutely insane. And I think you mentioned Polkadot there, and it is fascinating just to see these new projects. I guess they're not necessarily new anymore, but seeing them innovate and really giving projects like Ethereum a run for their money. I'm really fascinated to see how it plays out. But with you guys specifically, what can we expect then, other than the bridge to Solana, for the rest of 2021?
Yeah, a lot of things you can expect. We are definitely aiming for a lot of partnerships, which are also in the pipeline. We are aiming to provide a very easy way for crypto companies in the beginning, so that they are also able to have their own loyalty system, which we would provide for free to them, so they have a better way to engage with their audience, and they can also measure more data out of it, while we are always safeguarding the privacy of the user. So as a user, you won't even notice anything, but we're trying to bring communities together, while we're mostly focusing on the crypto community in the beginning, to reach at least like 60K users by the end of this year. That's our goal as a bare minimum. from there on, we want to see where the data leads us. And if our growth needs to happen in Europe or if it's Asia, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to live there. And I think especially with how the whole world is transitioning right now to online, I think it's always the best thing to just follow data and don't make any assumptions on whether it's going to be in our country, in my country, in your country, in Indonesia, you name it. Just where the data process, they're the most people, they're the most active, they're the most engaged. That's where you should focus on. And I have a feeling it's going to be Asia, because the US is kind of lagging behind. They're very frustrating to deal with the whole SEC and everything. And I think Asia is way more flexible, and Europe too. So yeah, those are the region I would say right now we are aiming for growth. Yeah, you can expect a lot to happen within the Solana ecosystem with Crowny being there, and especially after the migration, what we're going to provide for certain Solana related projects.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with you, especially in the comparison between America and Asia. But I wish you the best of luck on 60K plus users towards the end of the year. And I'm sure we'll have to catch up with you once you've hit that milestone. So thank you so much for coming on Altcoin Buzz Spotlight with us today.
Thank you, Layah. Appreciate it a lot. And yeah, I hope you're one of the, if you want to be part of like the testing group of the application, you hereby have my invitation.
Thank you so much. We'll catch up with you soon.